Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of FooTea Fantasy where we discuss football and FPL over a cup of tea. I'm your host Shouvik and I'm joined by my co-host Sourav. Before we start the today's pod, we'll timestamp the video. So we are recording this on a Thursday afternoon Indian Standard Time after all the Carabao Cup games have been played, and we will cover those games as well a little bit because those have a few implications over the coming weekend and the matches to be played this game week. So just before we start, Shurab, it's Diwali today. So how are you enjoying? What are your plans?
Yeah, just going to be at home with family and friends. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, hope everyone who's celebrating the festival, all of you are having a good time, and hope you can find out some time to go through the video and prepare for the upcoming game week because the deadline is around the corner on Saturday. Yeah, so on that note, let's get started. Um, we'll quickly run through our game week 9 teams. We have already covered this in detail in the last pod, but since this is an FPL focused pod, we'll just cover it in a minute. Shurab, take us through your team quickly.
Yeah, I had a total of 76 points, so a green arrow from 220 to 107k. Uh, I starting with Flecken at in goal. It was a one pointer. Then my defense, Luca Dini and Lewis get 7 and 6 points, with Trent just a single point. Johnson and Rogers in midfield were a disappointment with 1 point, but Mbumo and Salah both had double-digit returns. And the highest point of my game week was my attacking players, all three returning. Wood with a brace, 13 points. Haaland captained with a single goal, and Nicholas Jackson with a goal and 3 bonus points. So it has been a fairly good game week.
Yeah, you've jumped from 220k to 107k. You're too modest not to mention that, but I'll keep raving about it because you're almost inside the 100k, and that's an excellent rank to hold at this point of the season. So yeah, let's quickly move on to my team. Again, a very poor game week for me the last time around. 45 points for me. My rank doubled from 710k to 1.4 million. My defense was a big disappointment. Double Arsenal defense, Raya with a 0 pointer, Gabriel with a 1 pointer, Konate with a 1 pointer. Lewis returned a clean sheet, a 6 pointer against Southampton. Mikolenko with a 2 pointer again. Foden, the big disappointment again against Southampton. I expected him to do something. 3 points from him. Mbemo was the star of my team with a 15 pointer. Rogers subbed off 360, 1 pointer. Watkins with a blank, two. Ender with a blank. Haaland, captain, returned with a goal, but didn't get any bonus at all, despite the winning goal. So,
Yeah.
6 points there. The Son injury last week, I think, was a crucial factor in having a poor game week. And let's see if what we do about it this game week. We'll discuss that in detail. So let's move ahead and just have a look at the fixtures this game week. So I think the standout fixture is the Saturday night fixture for between Manchester United and Chelsea. I think that's the big game this game week. All eyes on that. Manchester United sacking Eric Ten Hag this week. Nistelrooy in charge, and they had a good start under Van Nistelrooy in the Carabao Cup. They won, I think, 5-2
Yeah.
last night, and yeah, a flurry of goals. I mean, we were
There were
saying this,
goals from all the relevant FPL assets.
yeah, and we were saying this entire season that defensively they have improved compared to last season, but it is the attack that they're creating chances and not able to finish them off. But they did well against Leicester last night. Although you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Leicester played their second string team, while United, I think, lined up with almost the first team, you can say. And Garnacho with a brace, Casemiro with a brace. I think Bruno Fernandes had a goal there as well. So, yeah.
Um, yeah, it was Bruno Fernandes's brace and Garnacho with the first goal.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, Garnacho had a goal and an assist. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good performance maybe. So let's see. Hopeful times for optimistic times for United fans. Other on the other fixtures, Arsenal travel to St James Park with Newcastle. Arsenal, how do you see that fixture?
Yep. I think it would be more of a low-scoring game, and fully expect Arsenal to win it because Saka is back. Even with all the defensive injuries, it could be a 2-1 because I expect Newcastle to score as well.
Yeah, so Newcastle won 2-0 last night, and Arsenal will have Saliba back, although Gabriel's availability, I think, is a big question mark still. So yeah, although Newcastle, I was hearing some news that Isak might potentially be injured
Yeah.
after the game yesterday. So that will be a big blow. I think that 2-1 projection will take a hit if Isak is not there, uh, because I think Wilson is still out. So
But we can't trust what Eddie Howe
how?
says anyway.
Two of the worst managers in terms of
Playing against
team
each
news.
other.
If you're a field manager, these are two of the worst managers you can expect a team news from. Eddie Howe and Mikel Arteta, and they face each other. So yeah, don't expect anything. City travel to Bournemouth. We'll discuss that game also in detail. Obviously, Erling Haaland and captaincy discussions are always around the corner. Ipswich versus Leicester. I don't think in terms of FPL that's a very big game, but in terms of their survival fight, I think that's a huge game for both the teams, and they'll both go out and attack. That's what we expect. Liverpool, Brighton, sure. How do you see this?
Yeah, Liverpool. So it's at Anfield, and Brighton with all their defensive woes and injuries, I think Liverpool rolls them over. So it
Yeah.
could absolutely be a demolition job at uh, Liverpool's.
So even Dunk is out, and that's not only a defender out. That's the defender leadership gone. The defending leadership gone because he's the captain as well, and he's the one controlling their defensive lines. So yeah, I think that's a big blow. Forest West Ham could go either way, although Forest are in much better form than what West Ham are. But
I
West Ham
mean,
on
what we saw from West Ham against United, and that to West Ham away to Forest. I mean, again, Forest could take full advantage of their
yeah,
defensive line.
yeah. But an unexpected win when you're running, when you're out of form could suddenly spur you up. Although the signs were not there from West Ham in the United game as well. So yeah, Forest could actually score a lot at home. And again, if you have Chris Wood, like you also have, you'd be optimistic of a big haul again. Southampton, Everton. I think most of us have DCL and Everton defense. Most of the FPL managers. So DCL, I think we'll discuss that going forward. But if you have him, I think this is the this is a plum fixture. This is the prime fixture that we saw while transferring DCL in. Most of the managers, this is the fixture you were targeting. So if you have him, I think you keep patience for one more week, and then you can think about what to do with this.
Everton does press a lot and get a lot of chances. So
But yeah, but
South
one of the downside to this is
is
also that
McNeil.
yeah, McNeil being injured and he's the prime creator.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we know Everton don't create much with, and especially with McNeil out, I don't know how much they'll be able to create chances. And DCL is not a finisher like Chris Wood is, that you give him a couple of chances and he'll score. He needs a lot of chances. He's not a very good finisher either. So yeah, that. But defensively, I think you would expect Everton probably to keep a clean sheet here. And Wolves Crystal Palace again, maybe a close game, could go either way.
Yeah,
Um,
this is a game that's hard to call. I was thinking that the Crystal Palace could actually produce a solid team, but suddenly the Eze injury doubts could dent that appeal because Wolves would try to play a back four and uh, and not attack that much. I mean, they would have a more, let's say, structured approach to the game that would benefit Crystal Palace defensively. But let's see,
Yeah, Gary O'Neill mentioned he's going to play back four going
back
forward.
four.
So
Yeah.
yeah, That's an important piece of news even for Ait Nouri owners. Uh, Spurs Aston Villa, I expect this to be a very high scoring game. If not high scoring, game which has a lot of chances for the attackers. If you remember last season, Shourav, do you remember Aston Villa high line and
Yeah,
Son? I think
absolutely
couple
exploiting
of
it.
goals or three goals, I think all
It was a hat
offside.
trick. Yeah,
Yeah,
hat trick of offsides. Yeah,
crazy game. That
yeah,
was a crazy game. So something like that, I would not be surprised if we see something like that again. And Fulham Brentford again, two teams in good form, good rhythm, good players. Again, hard to call, maybe.
yeah. This is hard to call because Fulham is a more structured team, whereas Brentford is just attack, attack, attack. So
Yeah,
the score
Fulham
could
can
be
definitely score.
yeah. Fulham would definitely score. I mean, I have no hope of a Flecken clean sheet, but but even Fulham can concede because Brentford's attack is quite good.
Yeah,
So it could be a 2-2 game.
yeah. Visa and Embomo, so you'd expect some returns there. So let's see. These are our thoughts on the results, but let's see what the market uh, is predicting. And this is the odds, the goals and clean sheet odds. As you can see, you just mentioned it, Shourab. Liverpool, they're standing out in these projections with 2.5 goals against Brighton.
Yep.
So,
And I mean, it's a good fixture for Liverpool defenders as well because um, Brighton doesn't. I mean, Brighton would attack, but Liverpool is a more like we said multiple times. Slot is a more pragmatic manager, and he wants to control the game initially. So, and Brighton would try to play from the back, which wouldn't succeed. It could rather play into Liverpool's hands, and they could counter easily.
yeah, I think the chances of Liverpool clean sheet will go up significantly more if Liverpool score first. I
Absolutely.
think at till the time it is nil-nil, I think Brighton are in the game.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool will try to go out and score. They need to win, obviously, while Brighton can actually come out with a nil-nil draw and be satisfied. But Liverpool, for the title race, they'll need to win. So as long as the game extends uh, till 0-0, I think the Brighton's chances increase to score and get away with something. Yeah, but just after Liverpool, I think again, as we always expect Manchester City to be right up there, but they're below Liverpool for the projected goals scored. So I'll bring in the captaincy discussion here with you. So Erling Haaland versus Mo Salah, I think the community is quite divided on this game week on the decision. I think very few actually hold Haaland and Mo Salah both, but you are one of those managers. So where are you with the captaincy this week?
Oh, I'm pretty clear on who will like captain. It's Salah at home. I mean, even if it's Haaland, I mean, Haaland will score. Uh, Haaland can score against Bournemouth because Bournemouth aren't that strong defensively, but Salah at home against a Brighton with a weak defense and a high line. I mean, there's no second thought.
Yeah, and
With the injuries to, uh, I mean, City, I'm growing more and more confident on Salah captaincy. I mean, if I wouldn't move the armband, but still, I think the goal scoring odds for City will also go down once Rob releases a updated chart.
yes, I completely agree with you. And for those who have missed yesterday's Carabao Cup games and are not yet updated, Savio is out injured, and it looks like a bad injury because of he was I think taken
It,
off on a stretcher.
it could be a
And
fracture as well.
yes, so they already have Doku Grealish out, and we have seen how they've performed without Savio and Foden in the past.
And another thing was Akanji was injured in the warm up, so uh, that could that could affect the Bournemouth game if they plan on playing Stones at the back because Diaz and Stones both are not good defenders compared to how City what City has at their in their bench or in their injury list.
Yeah,
So and another notable miss could be quite impacting the FPL world is Gvardiol. I mean, he was seen getting a treatment from the physio. But
After the match, yeah,
after the match, yeah. But I think it could be more of a fatigue or a dead leg, so
could
he
be.
would still play.
And again, with Pep, we'd not really know what's the if there is something there. Although Pep did come out after the game and said Rico Lewis would like to rest, but he's the one player we can't rest, and that screams a benching for me. I just
But
don't
with
trust Pep.
Yeah, but with the injury worries, I don't think Rico Lewis will be benched. I mean,
They actually don't have a substitute there
they don't
with
have a
Pop.
substitute at all. I mean,
Yeah.
there are chance. Is Ake injured, or Ake plays the Champions League games, right? Ake was playing as a left
Ake
back.
played yesterday in the Carabao
Yeah.
Cup, so he
So
played. He can play if
he can play.
there's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in it could be Gavardiol Ake if Rico Lewis is bench, but I don't think he would bench it because they don't have any creative midfield or anyone on the right or left wing.
Yeah, I think Luis starts, but yeah, Guardiola is something you would like to listen to from Pep. And somebody said Foden, but I can't find any trusted source on Foden, and I think he was taken off pre-60. So I would be optimistic of a start unless it's an
Foden
injury.
starts. Foden
Yeah,
absolutely starts because I talked about always Bournemouth and Fulham always being a difficult game. I mean, these two are difficult teams, and this is away to Bournemouth, and Areola is a extremely good manager. So I expect Pep to play a strong 11.
yeah, I agree with you. And for people who have only Haaland, I think Haaland captain is not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Uh, it's a good game for them. So, and they City anyways play Brighton next. So, there's been a lot of talk about Haaland out, Salah in, but you have to see how you're structuring that because I'm not favor of Haaland out and Salah in. Um, anyways, we'll get to that more in as we go further in the pod. What else stand out to you? Again, as you said, Spurs Villa. We expect a high scoring game. So, sure, would you? I think all of us should be holding on to our attackers from both the teams.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a game of attackers. So I have Luca Dean from Villa's defense, and I expect Spurs to score. So I'm not playing him. And but one thing that stood out from this graphic was the scoring odds. I would actually invert the scoring odds for Aston Villa and Spurs because if you see one of their main defenders, Van de Ven, had a hamstring injury. I mean, it could
Yes.
well be a 2 to 3 week injury, and then or the post international break, he could come back. So this game is a very kind of a high scoring game, and Villa has all their players fit. I mean, most of their players who are playing the 11 are fit and ready and sharp. So Watkins, Duran, Rogers, Tillemans, everyone could uh, everyone could have an attacking return because, like we said multiple times, Spurs are very weak in their defense, and one of their tall defenders getting injured could very well escalate that.
Yeah, Villa slipped to a defeat last night in the Carabao Cup while Spurs defeated Man City, but we'll not read too much into those results because,
Carabao Cups are very,
yeah,
I mean, results are very
yeah,
different from what actually would happen in the Premier League.
in the Premier League, yes. Yeah. So I think the Van de Ven injury does affect the odds a little bit, and I think we'll see an updated odds post that. And speaking of updated odds, I think United might have their odds revised as well. We we do expect a new manager bounce. I think even the worst of teams uh, do show a new manager bounce. If you remember last season, also Sheffield United
Yep.
uh, had a couple of games or 3 4 games where they had a new manager bounce and did perform well. Uh, United last night, as we said at the start of the pod, scored a lot of goals. I think that was their main problem this season. They were creating chances regularly,
They were
and
underperforming a lot of their chances. So
of
yeah,
their chances. Yeah, and Bruno Fernandes reflected that. I mean, his underlying numbers, and yesterday he bragged a base. So there'll be a little bit of a new manager bounce would be there. I think the Carabao Cup game would have given them confidence as well, just to find the back of the net. just to get that feel of scoring a goal again. And Garnacho scoring, Fernandes scoring, those are their main players, main attacking players. So, do you expect United's odds to go up? Do you expect United to be a little more better and little challenge Chelsea more than
Yeah,
what we're expecting?
yeah. So I mean, the my idea of how the United Chelsea game would go from our last spot completely shifted, mostly because of the news that we got and yesterday's match. So the news that we got, I think, an hour back is that Amorim would be is appointed as the manager and he would start post IB. So he would
Yes.
get the IB to gel in with the players.
Hmm.
And this means Van Nistelrooy would manage the next two games. So it's 10 and 11 against Chelsea, and then the next is against Leicester.
Hmm.
And yesterday's match is indicative of the fact that United would attack, would go full on attack, and that decreases all the clean sheet chances of Chelsea. If Amorim was to be appointed for the Chelsea match, I would expect the match to go a little bit different because he would first shore up the defense and then try to not be defeated at home. But Mr. Roy would try to make a kind of a statement at home, and that too against Chelsea. And so they would go for a win. And but that doesn't mean that Chelsea wouldn't score or Chelsea could lose. I mean, you're playing against a team that's attacking like crazy, that has found their system under Maresca, and with Palmer, Jackson, Neto, Sancho wouldn't play. So it would be definitely Neto and Madueke. I mean, Chelsea could also have a feast there.
Yeah, and I think Chelsea have defensive fragilities. We have seen that throughout the season. And if United can just, the United, we have just talked, they're scoring, they're not scoring, but they're creating a lot of chances. So if they can find that finishing boot, I think they can score against Chelsea. And you have to keep in mind the matches in Old Trafford, and Old Trafford would be buzzing
Okay.
with Mr. Lewis' appointment, and because he's obviously kind of one of their own and a
And
legend
yeah,
for United. So the atmosphere I think will play a big part in this game as well.
it would be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, turning back the times when United Chelsea used to be classics. Uh, let's move on to Arsenal and Newcastle. I think just before we came on to this particular slide, you said you expect it to be 2-1. And for our audio listeners, the odds are at 1.7 for Arsenal and 1.18 for Newcastle. I personally expect if Isak is out, Newcastle's odds to decrease significantly. But how do you see this?
Yeah, if Isak is playing, they could score. If Isak isn't, I think Arsenal away is always a great defense. I mean, the defense first team. So it would be White, Timber, Saliba, and most probably, let's say Zinchenko, the
Yeah.
left back. So yeah, I think that could be the back four, and we have seen how they're attacking with Saka back. So if Isak
Timber
is out,
back.
it could be a 1-0 or a 2-0.
Yeah. Timber played in the Carabao Cup, so he's back.
Yeah,
Um,
Timber is back.
Yeah.
Timber
So
is
Timber, White, and Saliba are there. Now whether it's Zinchenko, whether I don't have any news on Calafiori. Is there any update on Calafiori?
no Calafiori. I don't think Calafiori would be back this soon. It could be post IB.
So Calafiori is not back. So yeah, it's between Zinchenko or maybe that youngster or is Kivior or somebody in that fourth spot or maybe Partey the last time we saw.
Yeah, Party could
So
be there,
Partey could be
or,
there.
or it could be a mysterious Gabriel appearance if he suddenly becomes fit because we can't trust anything Arteta says. I
I
mean,
would not.
I really hope uh, Gabriel to be fit, but yeah, it is too soon for
Yeah,
him.
I would not rule it out actually Gabriel coming back. And we'll not know actually. We know what Arteta will say. We have to run some tests and we'll see. We still have one training session to go.
Yeah.
Standard lines. Some of the fixtures that we called to be a little tight. Wolves Crystal Palace. We said it would be a tight fixture. We can see the
They have
odds.
exact same odds. I
It's
mean, this.
exact same odds for goals scored. Exact same odds for clean sheet. So even the market is predicting a very tight game there. Fulham Brentford. I think the market is predicting Fulham. favoring Fulham a little bit more, slightly more than Brentford. But I don't agree with the Fulham clean sheet odds. I think Brentford are a good team and they will score. And Brentford to have low 1.33 goals scored. Yeah, fair enough, I think. But I think again, this should be more or less like how Wolves and Crystal Palace is. I think this will be a close game. So, what else? Forest, West Ham, Forest. Do you think Forest's goal scoring odds are a little less as per the market?
Forest, yeah, I think so because Forest clean sheet odds are fine. There should be around 30, but yeah, the goal scored it could be a two plus or around a three, close to a three goal. I mean, it should have been around 2.5. So I fully expect Forest to score. I mean, it could be one of the defenders also scoring. So West Ham is extremely poor, and Forest is playing is quite a functional team at the moment.
Yeah, I expect Forest to take it away, win this match comfortably. West Ham might score, but yeah, I think the odds are for West Ham are okay, but Forest are probably I'd rate them a little bit higher. Ipswich Leicester again, markets are favoring Ipswich slightly more. Although I think Leicester are the ones who are grinding out results at this point, and Ipswich are not really there yet. So that could be another very close game and would be a crucial game for both the teams, as we said earlier.
Yeah,
Uh,
both are very poor defenses, so this also could be another high-scoring game.
yeah, very surprising from this particular chart is the Southampton Everton odds, and they're again exactly the same. And I don't really agree with that. I think Everton are would be clear winners from this game.
Everton are playing well. I think Southampton at home again, they won't be sitting.
Yeah,
They won't be sitting, especially against Everton. They would try to go for that win or that point, and that would mean that yeah, playing
yeah.
out from the back, and we know what happens.
I think Manchester City was one off for Southampton. They won't go into that deep block against teams like Everton, and that they'll play how they play out from the back and attack against Everton.
Yeah,
Although Everton's defense, Dyche defense, I would place that clean sheet odd also higher. It's just mentioned as 24% for Everton, but I think the odds would be higher than that.
yeah, most of the goals that Southampton scored were from a counter attack, and mostly yeah, exploiting that space, even against Arsenal. So I don't think Everton leaves that space. So yeah, that clean sheet could be high. It's a good week to play your
Yeah,
Mikolenkos.
yeah. And even Brantford is back, so clean
Brentford is
sheet
back.
clean sheet odds are definitely high. So I think we've covered all the matchups and the games from this week. Let's move on to our teams and let's see if in terms of FPL where we are. Shourav, this is your team, and if you can read out your team for our audio listeners as well, and what are your plans and how many transfers you have, how much in the bank.
Yeah.
Take us through it.
So I have Flecken in goal, and it's Fulham away, and I have Fabianski in the bench, Nottingham Forest away. So it's neither a good uh, week to. I mean, it's not a good week to play neither of the keepers. So still going with Flecken because he makes a lot of saves. In defense, I have Trent, Lewis, which are both good who have both good game weeks. And the third defender is I'm a bit confused between Colwell and Dinia. So I had initially kept Colwell because I thought the um, Amorim would come in and it would be a better game for Chelsea. But now I'm inclined to play Dinia because again he takes all the set pieces and against Tottenham's defense. Now going to the midfield, I have Johnson, Mbumo, Rogers, and Mo Salah, and the captaincy armband is on Salah at the moment, and I'm playing a 3-4-3. In the attack, I have Haaland, my vice captain, Nicholas Jackson, and Wood. So on the bench, I have kept Semenyo and Lucadini at the moment, and Greaves is injured. So Semenyo won't be playing, um, but he could get a lucky return this week. Yeah, and I could swap Dinia to Colwell, and Colwell will be on my bench. I have one free transfer because I made two free transfers last week and 1.2 million in the bank. So I'm not planning on moving anyone because I don't have a clear. Uh, I mean, I would want a defender, but there is no standout apart from Ait Nouri, and I don't expect a clean sheet from Wolves. So and also Ait Nouri is on 4 yellow cards, so that's I'm trying to hold off that for another week.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a good team, and I think the decision boils down to your Dean versus Colwell, because since you're set on the Salah captaincy, I don't think there are any more decisions to be made on this team. It looks good, although you'd probably keep an eye out uh, on the pressers for the Wood update. But I think even after the match, Wood came out and said he
Yeah,
feels fine.
yeah. There was a interview. Yeah, there's a video out there. So Wood says fine. So I'm not worried about Wood at all.
Yeah. I think that's a good team, pretty strong team. I think you don't have much of a choice with the goalkeepers, but apart from that, I think it's a brilliant team. And I think we have been talking about Salah only against Brighton, but man, Alexander Arnold can just go off this game as well. I think he's a great asset to have, and a lot of people have moved off him already, so he's into that differential zone now.
Yeah, he's for the next 3 game weeks. It's Brighton at home, Villa at home, and then Southampton away. These 3 fixtures are prime for Liverpool, so I'll probably hold him for all 3.
Yeah, good shot there. Yeah, so since you're rolling, now let's move on to my team. And I just for the audio listeners, I'll read out the team first. I have Raya in goal. I have Lewis, Konate, and Mikolenko as my starting 3 defenders. Midfield is of Rogers, Foden, Son, and Bumo, and my front 3 are Haaland, NDI, and Watkins. And on the bench, I have Aitnouri, Carvalho, and Greaves, who's injured, and Fabianski as my goalkeeper. So I went early with the with I had 2 transfers going into this week, but I moved early with one of them, and I transferred Gabriel out for Aitnouri. Uh, I think I was anyways going to do that. I had lost patience with double Arsenal defense, and I thought I'd wait a little bit more till I see the clean sheets coming from Arsenal, and then probably rethink my strategy going ahead, whether I want to go double Arsenal or not. I still have Arsenal defensive coverage in Raya, so uh, I think I'm covered there. But the double defense, I think, especially with Gabriel's injury and not knowing when he'll come back, and knowing Arteta that there will be no clarity this week in any case.
And
So I thought,
6.1 invested, it's a lot of money in defense.
yeah. So because it frees up fund for my future moves, because obviously there's an eye out for game week 12 fixture swing, and the team that I want to reach to in game week 12. So all my moves going ahead are focused on where I want to be game week 12, game week 13. There's a massive fixture swing, so I would try to cover off the wild carders at that point. So yeah, I think the team looks okay on paper, but yeah, I think the crucial point here is I would need return from Foden or Son to and to ensure anywhere near a green arrow. If both of them blank, because I'm taking on all the premiums with my team. I don't have Salah, I don't have Saka, I don't have Palmer, and that's not a good situation to be in, to be honest. But I I committed to the strategy for a couple of weeks, and this is probably one more week where I'll go without having any of those. So Foden and Son are my big stakes in this game week. So I'll obviously listen to what Pep says about Foden, what Postecoglou says about Son. If he says Son is out, I'll get either Palmer or Saka in because I can reach both of them easily in one move, and I have that one free transfer left.
Yeah.
Uh, if both of them are playing, I'll probably hold on because I think Palmer against United, as I said, we covered it. New manager bounce. I think it won't be as easy as it would have been if Ten Hag was still the manager. So I think it will be a closer game. And Saka again against Newcastle this week. Next week against Chelsea away. Chelsea have Arsenal at home. So Saka and Palmer, I'm actually trying to hold off till game week 11. But if Son is injured, then I'll be probably forced into that move a little early.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Chelsea Arsenal is a quite tricky thing because both of them have not so good fixtures till 11, and then from 12 both of them turn.
yeah, yeah. So, and India will have, as I said last pod also, this is the fixture I was holding him for. He returned my faith against Ipswich, I think, last week, and now against Southampton, I would expect some kind of return from him. Uh, Apart from that, I think my only decision in terms of the playing 11 this week is whether I play Ait Nouri against Crystal Palace or do I play Rico Lewis, because uh, if I just think somehow Bournemouth would score against City. So that's, I think, my only dilemma. Apart from that, at present I am starting Lewis and I have Ait Nouri on the bench. But that's my only decision. That apart other than that, I don't think starting 11 wise I have any other decisions to make. Whom would you start? Whether you'd go for Ait Nouri or Lewis?
So if if it was if Glasner was playing a back three, I would definitely start Ait Nouri because he would be a wing back. Now, at this moment, I would prefer Lewis more, only because he would be a starter at this point with all the injuries, and Pep could actually revert to a defense first approach in Bournemouth away because you have seen how Pep changes his tactics with each and every team, and this game sounds like a more of a low scoring game for City, with City controlling the game a lot more, with Matthias Nunes and Silva and Gundogan back in the team. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would affect the defense. I mean, it would benefit the City defense.
Yeah. I can only hope Itinerary doesn't get a yellow card this game, because next game is Southampton, which is the prime fixture for me to get out of Itinerary. So if he
Yeah.
doesn't get a yellow card this game, I think my transfer is successful. Because even after Southampton, if he gets a yellow card, I can cover him off with my defense.
If he gets I mean, yellow card, it would be, I mean, everyone would go crazy because,
Yeah, and I think 90% chances that he'll get a yellow card, because that is FPL for you. It is not FPL if he doesn't get a yellow card this week. So yeah. Yeah, so this is all from my team. Some of the questions for this game week, I think,
so
which
on the
everybody,
captaincy, so I
yeah,
something I needed to ask you because you have a different premium player
yeah.
list from what I had. So are you fixed on Haaland captaincy at the moment?
If I'm being honest, I'm actually thinking a little bit, my thoughts a little bit split between Haaland and actually Watkins, because Spurs away, I think, is a very good fixture for Watkins. He had his rest midweek. He didn't start yesterday. And with Van der Ven's injury, I think Watkins could be a good shot. Foden is not an option for me because um, I have not seen that quality from him. And Son, again, the uncertainty. Uh, so yeah, it's between either Haaland or maybe uh, Watkins.
So who do you think? I mean, just jumping onto the captaincy discussion, who do you think is I mean, your top three captains this week? How do you rank them?
I think Salah is number one. Uh, I think Salah is number one, followed by Haaland, and then I'll go with Palmer, because of Chelsea's, the way Chelsea is attacking, and his form, and the way Chelsea's attack is functioning. I'll go with Palmer as my third option. Fourth, I think I'll go with uh, either Watkins or Son. Actually, not Son. I'll go with Watkins as fourth option. I think Watkins is an underrated shout for
Yeah.
captaincy this week, and if you have the courage, if you as an FPL manager, if you can risk it, if you have that appetite of risk, you can go for him. He can return big, uh, give you big upside this time around. But I don't have that risk appetite, so probably I have my vice captaincy's armband right there, but it'll be difficult for me to captain Watkins. The problem is, if Watkins blanks, I already don't have Salah, Saka, Son, as I mentioned,
Yeah,
Salah,
that
Saka, and Palmer. So if Haaland goes off and Watkins blanks, that risk versus reward for me is too high. The risk is too high, so I can't risk it. If my rank was very good, or probably I had, you know, some, or I probably very bad that I had nothing to lose, I think Watkins would have been good.
Yeah, it's a good game for Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that rank, but I would put Palmer above Haaland. I think it's a better game for Palmer compared to Haaland.
Yeah, I think it's close. I think that's a fair shot if you're putting Palmer against above Haaland. I think that's a fair shot. But yeah, Haaland I think breathes some kind of fear factor into you. That's what is there. I think if the impression of we have of Haaland is what pushes the captaincy more towards Haaland for me. So yeah, let's quickly get into some of these questions. Let's try to answer this as soon as quickly as we can. One of, so DCL and Solanke, I think these two have been the biggest disappointments in terms of the forward line. So sure, if you what would you suggest people who own DCL and who own Solanke, what would you suggest them to do?
So, I mean, DC, I would hold both because it's a good fixture for both of them. Um, I mean, Solanke could get a return, could get an assist against that Villa High line, and DCL again could benefit from Southampton. But it's the last game for DCL. If he blanks, then it's a straight move to any other sub
Yeah,
6.5 player
yeah.
because there are
We'll,
a lot.
we'll,
There's
we'll
Raul, there's Visa. I mean,
yeah.
there's
So we'll discuss DCL's replacement next week. But I think this week both of us agree that DCL is a hold against Southampton. I think you have to
absolutely,
hold it. Yeah.
absolutely. And
And with Solanke also, I think this is a better fixture than it looks on the paper, right? And
yeah,
the next game is Ipswich
at home.
at
So
home. So I think Solanke is a hold for not only this fixture, I think he's a hold for next two.
yeah,
If you have no other fires, if you don't need money out of him. If you
yeah,
need money out of him, I think Solanke could be a Cunha.
correct. But these two fixtures are something, and Spurs attack. So it's not something like we are suggesting to hold Poro. It's Solanke.
Yeah.
I mean, from an attacking perspective, Spurs could do well. I mean, Spurs will do well. At least Ipswich at home. So Solanke is a hold for the next two. But after that, he's a straight sell if he does nothing.
Yes, definitely. Next one, McNeil's injury. If we don't know actually anything about McNeil's injury and how bad or whether it's serious or not. But if McNeil was out, because this is a prime fixture, if Southampton fixture is injured, I think people would look to move him on or transfer him out. Who do you think is a good replacement for McNeil at that price point? Sub
I
six.
mean, yeah, that 5.5 bracket is a bit tricky. I mean, because none of them are performing consistently. So, I mean, the first obvious replacement due to the fixtures that come to mind is Semenyo, because after this, uh, Man City at home, I mean, he could hold Semenyo, he could give two or a lucky assist, and he's shooting. He could have a lucky return. But
Yeah,
after that, the fixtures turn. I mean, they have Brighton at home. They play against, I think, uh, West Ham or Southampton. I don't remember. They play Brentford. They play
yeah.
Brentford, which could be a high scoring. So Semenyo is the obvious replacement. And then I was always bigging up one player, that's Rooter. Uh, but not for the current run.
These
He
two.
could be a
Yeah.
long-term replacement post 12 because yeah, Brighton's fixtures is also turns.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think if you're looking for Rudder, you can move to probably Smith Rowe now and then transfer to Rudder, so you get all green fixtures. Semenyo, if you get Semenyo, he's a hold because his fixtures turn for the long term.
yep.
But if you're eyeing up
Semenyo is
Rudder, you don't go to Semenyo for this week. You go Smith Rowe and then you jump off to Rudder.
yeah. Even Semenyo or anyone from I think Tavernier is also a good replacement for. I mean, the Bournemouth team could very well. Um, I mean, come into form for the
Yeah.
next few weeks.
And if you have a little bit of money in the bank, I think from McNeil, because he's 5.8, and you can go to a Garnacho for 6.2. If you have zero point 0.4 in the bank, you can make that switch. So I think Garnacho would be a great differential. And United's fixture 11, 12, and 13 are just pure gold. If they can find some form, people who move early there will have a edge, is what I believe.
Absolutely, yeah. 6.2, Garnacho is a steal. I mean, we wouldn't. That would be the first recommendation if you have money in the bank.
Yes. Gabriel, sure up.
So, trusting Arteta that Gabriel will come back post IB, I would definitely transfer him out. My first thought is going like for like and getting Guardiola because he's performing like the Guardiola of the last season. But if you want to replace Gabriel, get a little bit of money in the bank, I would go to Konate. That's the
Yeah,
second replacement.
I think with Guardiola, the only problem is the fixtures now turn, and I think there are no
The
clean sheet fixtures. So you're
Gu-
going there for attacking returns.
Guardiola is a season hold. I
Yes.
think Gabriel is also a season hold because I don't think you would have transferred out Gabriel if he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
So you would go from a season hold to a season hold. That's the idea.
Another thing that probably people who have Solanke and Gabriel, if you're looking to move Solanke out, I think you can go to Acuna and upgrade Gabriel to a
A trend.
Trent Alexander-Arnold because,
Absolutely.
again, attacking threat and season hold, he clicks all the boxes, good fixtures coming up. So that if you are making two moves, I think that's the play. But if you just have one move to make, I think Gabriel too.
But we won't
Guardiola is good.
recommend selling Solanke at the moment. So
Yeah, definitely. Uh, You, the last question about United assets, I think we did answer that in part when we were talking about Garnacho. But I think apart from Garnacho and maybe Bruno Fernandes, I don't think it's worth going to any other asset at this point. You have to see who the new manager is, favoring, whether Zirkzee plays or Højlund plays, and what kind of a role Rashford is playing. Because last couple of games, I think we've seen Rashford being a little more deep, so would you go for any other player, Rashford or anybody else apart from
n-
Garnacho and Bruno?
no, not in attacking. So Rashford, I mean, Rashford is actually quite sharp now, but I don't see him being direct at
Yeah,
this point. So Garnacho at 6.2, I think if you don't have to wait. If you want to buy him because the next few fixtures are really good for
yeah,
United,
yeah,
irrespective of who they're being managed by.
yeah.
Bruno, mostly, I think Bruno has quite a high ownership. People are holding on to him, and I think they should hold at this point.
Yes. And Chelsea is a good fixture for your attackers. It's not a
Absolutely,
bad fixture for your
absolutely.
attackers. Right then. So I think we have answered that pretty well. Let's move ahead. Captaincy, Shurab, I think we have
Covered
probably
captaincy
yes
details.
answered that. So I'll just summarize it. I think both of us agree on the first choice, that is Salah. I think is the best captaincy option this week. Haaland and Palmer, I think is close. Shourav goes with Palmer. I think I'm going marginally with Haaland, but again, I completely agree with the Palmer pick as a captain as well. So I think these three are your top three, and then as we said, Watkins against Spurs is a differential shout. I think that's a high scoring game, is what we are predicting, is what the market is predicting. Saka, I think we did not discuss. Shourav, do you think he's in the captaincy conversation this week?
Yeah, yeah, because Saka would be playing against Lewis Hall. That's an open wing, and Saka could do wonders against any defender. So Saka, I would put Saka above Son any day because the thing is Son is coming back from an injury. We don't know how long will he play. So even though it's a better game for Son, Saka could be a good uh, shout as well.
Yeah.
But again, Watkins, I'll put Watkins above Saka.
Yeah. So I think if you're going to want to go differential, you go Watkins is what
Absolutely.
probably we are recommending, and not go for Saka this week. Uh, right then, let's move on to the next section, differential of the week and the most exciting part of our pod. Show of your differential for this week.
With Jota injured and Brighton playing a high line, we talked about in the last pod, the pacey uh, Darwin Nunes could do well this week. So since we are picking up Salah so much, that Darwin could actually be his creator or the beneficiary of Salah's passes or crosses. So yeah, expect
Yeah,
him to have some return this week.
absolutely. Excellent shot. I think Darwin Nunes is underrated and not hyped up as much as he could be this week. So great shout there. Yeah, and I think my differential this week, because this week the fixtures don't really align as such to have a lot of differential options, but still, I think one of the players that could do well this week is Jamie Vardy. I think he's looked sharp, and all the talk about his age and everything, I think he's already proved them wrong, and those conversations are shush now. And he's starting for Leicester. He did not start the Carabao Cup. Jordan Ayew did, so I think he starts. And against Ipswich, a defense that has been leaking goals for fun, I think, yeah, Vardy could score and could return big as well. I expect that to be a, a high-scoring game because both teams will try to win and both teams can't defend. So Wardy could be a good shot.
Yeah, it's a great shout, and I think the good part about Leicester is they are now playing Mavididi, Buonanotte, and Fatah all together. So
Yeah,
yeah, it could bode well for Vardy.
yeah. So right, I think that's it from us this time around. Anything else that you want to highlight for this game week in terms of FPL, Shurab?
No, it has been a good discussion.
Yeah. So again, everybody who's celebrating Happy Diwali and have a good festive season, and do not forget the deadline in all the festivities. It's on Saturday, and have a good game week. We hope you get some good green arrows. We hope both of us get some good green arrows. I hope Shourav breaks into the 100K the next time we sit here, and that would be an awesome place to be. So, before we leave, as usual, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe to our channel, like and comment on the video, give us your feedback, interact with us. Yeah, if you're listening to us on the audio platforms, connect with us on our socials on X, Instagram, and Threads at the rate FooTea Fantasy. Also, do not forget to follow our podcast. So we'll see you again after the game week with all the review and all the reactions from how the game week went. And till then, take care, be safe, take care of the animals, take care of the environment, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Yeah. Happy Diwali and thanks for joining.